Hi everyone, today I will be interviewing a person who is running a small business in Kulim Kedah. So sir, please introduce about yourself and your business.
Good afternoon, Anusha. My name is Annathurai. I'm running a small telecommunication shop in Jalan Merdeka, Kulim. My shop is named Kalvi Multi-Enterprise, and we have been successfully running the business for 18 years since 2004.
Okay, so basically what kind of products and services do you offer?
Currently, we are offering products like paying utility bills, and we are paying postpaid bills as well. We make plenty of postpaids as well for DG, Maxis, and Cellcom. And we also sell mini accessories like headphones and selfie rings, and even we at times we sell selfie sticks. And the accessories are more likely a side business, but the main business of our venture is bill payment, utility payment, general insurance, and postpaid creation.
Sir, let us know how did you commence the business?
Actually, it was not me who commenced the business. It was my parents who started the business back in 2004.
Okay.
Back then, my father was working in a multinational company, but then his salary was not enough to raise all three of us to pay our tuition fees, school fees, and whatever the fees needed or the expense he needed to do. So he had an idea to have a second job, which is opening this telecommunication shop, because back then telecommunication shop was very bad. So he started the business with my mother running it in the morning, and he will come and support the shop later after he finished his working hours in the multinational company which he worked in Chennai back then.
So it means that you took over the business indeed?
Yeah, eventually after I finished my dentistry degree, I took over the business.
Explain us more on how did you venture this business?
But back then, the internet was not elaborated as it is right now. So we had to go shop to shop to inquire about the business, especially telecommunication business, what we had to do, what kind of shop we need to have, etc. So I remember my father used to take us around town just to inquire about this telecommunication shop. So that's how we started. That's how my parents started the business.
Sir, what is your background before you start the business?
Before we started this business, our family, or be it my grandfather, my mother's side of the grandfather, or my father's side, neither of us had any experience of business, especially telecommunication. So we are really amateurs back then. So we had no background. We had to learn the business through trial and error.
To commence this small business?
Yes.
Okay. Sure, you have gone through a lot in this journey. So would you mind to elaborate us more on how was your journey was and now?
Yeah,
How is
sure.
it?
Yeah, sure, Anusha. Because it was quite a journey, if you ask me. Because we started off with having one employee for business venture, but then eventually we cannot handle the crowd. We cannot handle the customers. We had to employ more than 4 employees for our shop. And then also initially we had only one telco servicing, but then right now we are giving services of 7 telcos. You can name it eMobile, Red One, DG, Cellcom. We have 7 right now. And also our profit throughout the years, our profit evolved from 10k to 50k. So at first we had just one outlet, but then eventually in the years we were forced to open 2 outlets.
Great. Throughout this journey, you would have faced many ups and downs. So I would like to know what were your downs, what were your challenges running this business?
We faced a lot of challenges, Anusha, because I remember back then when I was working in the shop, we had no trustworthy staffs. The trustworthy staffs we had we just had 1 or 2, and eventually they also joined their fellow staffs to thief the coupons and stocks to for what reasons, to run their own shop or run their own business. So we had to fix cameras, and then at times they won't, even we catch them with proofs, they won't agree they are thieving. They would be putting the blame on the other person. So we were forced to close the other outlet just to focus on the first outlet, to avoid the thieving, avoid the inventory going out of control.
That sounds quite challenging for you. So sir, to run a small business, you need quite some fund. So how did you manage to get your working capital to finance your small business venture, sir?
I remember my father had to use his savings from the multinational company he was working. We had to sell the goals of my mother. We had support from our family members, like my mother's brothers and stuff. And then like we also applied for BSN microcredit loan.
Okay, so you had the financing from yourself and then from the out party. Lah. So sir, to finance a small business, there would be a cash inflow and also cash outflow. So how did you get to manage the cash of your business, sir?
I remember my mother used to write down the cash inflow, the expenses we need to do, and then high inventory is bad management. So for that, we would secure the number of cards we need to order, not we want, we need to order before placing the order in the next day. So the average expense of monthly expense of our business venture would be around 25k.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the income would be around 25k, the expense would be around 7k.
Around 7k of expenses. So what are your expenses are covered?
Actually, the expenses won't be predictable because at times the tablets or mobiles we use to top up the customers would be error. So we had to replace the mobile or buy a new mobile for the service. Or sometimes our shop light or air conditioner won't be working, so we have to fix it because the customer would be feeling uneasy, because they would be feeling uncomfortable because the temperature inside would be too hot. So these are the examples of
this is not
expenses.
certain lah.
Yeah, it's uncertain. You won't judge.
So sir, to run a small business successfully, you need some strategy like marketing strategy to let people know about the business. So what were your strategy on marketing?
Actually, back then when my father was running the business, he did not have social medias like we have these days, like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. The only marketing strategy he had was the word of mouth. He will be super polite to the customers. So the customers are the marketing strategy. They would go around telling about our shop, that we give great services, great polite services. So that's the marketing strategy we had initially. But then eventually when around the year 2015, 17, 16, when I was almost took over the business, I opened a Facebook page called Kalvi Multi-Enterprise. So through that we uploaded pictures of the service we do, what kind of new promotions we have. I did that and it was quite successful when I started the Facebook. To reach more people like that.
Since you took over the business from your father, what is your own personal experience owning this small business, running this small business? What is your piece of advice?
Never trust anybody. That would be my first advice. Never trust anybody. Your business strategies, the ideas you have, don't share it with anyone except your family members or the ones you have in the shop. Because the ones in the shop I'm referring to are your staff and your family members. Because like if you tell everyone who's coming to your shop, they would receive the idea and they would start a new business venture. Then what's the point of having that idea?
It's like simply you're building a new competitor for yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Other than that, prefer cash transactions only, no credit transaction. Because at times suppliers would tempt us with credit transaction. It's okay lah, you keep the stock first, pay later also can lah. They would tempt us with words like this. But strictly prefer cash transactions only, because when you take a item, when you take a stock with credit, eventually you have to pay for it. Let's say it was your good day and you had a good business day and you cleared all the stocks and you managed to pay them. But what if it was a slow day and you cannot pay the supplier? It would ruin your business reputation and your reputation as well. So always prefer transaction only.
So sir, that was a great interview session with you. Thanks for sharing more knowledge on how to run a business and a piece of advice at the end also. So thanks a lot sir for being so cooperative, and thanks on behalf of the audience as well. Thank you sir.
It's my pleasure, Anusha.